I don't have a pencil sharpener, which is slightly concerning. Good morning, y'all. If you're new here, my name is Brianna and I am a 4th year 3rd grade teacher in North Carolina. Make sure you subscribe because I love to film over the summer and show you how I am organizing and prepping for the new school year. So go hit that red subscribe button. I am so sleepy because today is my first day of tutoring. So I set my alarm for 7. I'm not tutoring till 10, but I decided I wanted some time to myself this morning. I want to be able to go to Starbucks, get some coffee, and look like I'm actually awake at a decent hour at every other day. This is hard because it was really hard for me to fall asleep last night, but I will show you what I'm doing today, and if you guys have any tips as well, that would be awesome. Actually, let me go get the book. So I'm basically tutoring her in math, and luckily I brought all my resources home and I was kind of looking through them as I was storing them yesterday. So if you haven't seen how I'm organizing all my resources, make sure you click here and watch that video at some point because it's beautiful and I actually really like to look at it right over there. I have this book, which I know North Carolina doesn't use Common Core anymore, and private school definitely doesn't use Common Core, but I mean, I gotta work with what I got. I know at least what is expected of this child for North Carolina, so I will do the best to my knowledge. But this book is really cool, and the reason I'm using this, and I probably won't use it for everything, I don't know, but in the front there's a skills assessment, and the mother asked me to see where her child is at and to figure out actually what I need to teach her. It's literally awesome. And then it gives a page of where I need to go from there, the answer key and things like that. But it goes through everything, and I thought this was fantastic because at first I was about to go on SchoolNet and pull like 1 or 2 questions from every standard and lose my mind because that would be very obnoxious. It would be super time consuming to go through all that. So I'm super happy that I have this, and the analysis page also tells me like what pages to go to practice those skills and whatnot. And obviously I'm not just going to use worksheets and workbook pages. Thank goodness I brought all my centers home because we are going to play games with her and do other things. I'm also having her read a reading passage to me today if there's time, and just answer the comprehension questions because I'm not going to do much reading. She's actually a really great reader, but it's just like the answering the questions part that, you know, gets all of them. So that's tutoring. But with that being said, I want to have some time to myself since I'm not starting until 10. I have a little under 3 hours. I do want to go to Starbucks. I want to do my makeup. I want to put a little bit more professional clothes on. I don't know. Much better. It's been a while since I've had a fresh face of makeup on. I know this washes me out because I'm in front of the window and I don't have any lips on, but I'll handle the hair later. It's Starbucks time. Hey y'all, I just got back, and you know I had to stop by Target since I was right next to it. I have a feeling that my Target is only putting out one of every color bin until someone buys that color, and then they restock, because that's literally all they had, one of each color. So that's fine. I guess I could have asked them but I could always just buy one every time I see it. I got the yellow bin, and I always keep my receipts because our PTO is super awesome, and they usually give us $200 at the beginning of every school year, so they reimburse us for the things we've purchased. So my goal this year is to not go over that $200 mark. That way I haven't purchased anything on my own. I got an iced caramel cloud macchiato. Unfortunately, the cloud has gone away, but it's really good. And it is now 8:30. So what I need to do, actually, I don't have a pencil sharpener, which is slightly concerning. So I'm gonna gather all the pencils that I do have in a little cup and get some highlighters and different things to use, and set up my little tutoring area. So I thought a dress was honestly the easiest thing to wear, so I threw on this little denim short sleeve button down from Old Navy. I love this. It definitely is a shorter option, but it's summer and you know, I want to be comfy. So that is what I am wearing. Now to tame this mess. So hair is fixed with some brushing and dry shampoo. And let me show you the little area. The assessment I have printed out, everything we're gonna do today, even the reading passage that I got from just a comprehension resource. I'll show you guys later. With the questions, it's all there. I have this little cup with 3 pencils, 3 flare pens for me, and then all of my erasable highlighters. Hey y'all. So I don't know what happened to my white balance here. I'm looking pretty yellow. Tutoring was a success. Super helpful assessment that I used from that book. So basically I'm going to start with subtraction with regrouping. There's the good color. I wish I had my place value blocks, but I'll probably just print some out to be able to use. But I haven't eaten anything today and it's 11:25, so I'm definitely gonna make some lunch right now. And basically I'm gonna be tutoring 3 days a week, and I'm really looking forward to it. Love the family, super sweet girls. I'm gonna get something to eat and then I'll probably start going on my computer, and I want to redo my classroom design for my new classroom just to get back into the swing of things. I really want to plan science and social studies this summer, but I'm not so feeling that just quite yet. So I'll start with something I want to do and ease into it. That's always the best way to do it, right? So today, since I skipped breakfast, I know, not so good, but I was just figuring my day out. I have my ground turkey, corn, and black beans on the bottom of this. I put some tortilla chips on top, lettuce to make a taco salad. I would usually put fat-free cheddar, cheese, but I ran out of it. And then Ortega taco sauce, the mild one, on top. I do have an onion, but I don't really want to cut it up right now. So the only thing I have to track for this is the tortilla chips. All right, so far I have the door, the windows down here, and then the boards in the front and the back. And this is my classroom from last year. The door's over here and the front of the room was over here. So as you can see, it's completely flipped. I drew up a map at the end of the school year, a really quick one, kind of based on this design, but flipped into my new room. However, since I'm going to be teaching right next to the door, I don't know if I still want my library up here, because in this classroom design, I put my library near across from the door just because I wanted it back away from the front of the room where the desks would be. And then I had my teacher table up here. So in the design that I drew up, here's the door. I kept the carpet across from it and my teacher table would be in this back corner. But I don't know how I feel about that. I might want to put my teacher table over here and keep the carpet in the back. But I'm gonna play around with it and see what I come up with. All right, so let me show you what I came up with. This was my original classroom design when my door was on this side and I taught on this side of my classroom.
So I did flip the design and do exactly what I had in that original plan. However, I just have so much space in this back corner now, because in this room, this would have been front space. And now it's not. It's in the back, and I just feel like that's wasted space. I wouldn't want to put my table over there, because then I would have all of this blocked. And then also, these are my filing cabinets, and I just feel like they are creeping over here. There's not a lot of room for desks, and like that is the most important part for where the children are going to be learning. So I came up with this, and I think this is what I'm going to end up going with. I feel like this is much more functional, and it provides the most open space, definitely. So I filled that back corner with my carpet instead, and that still leaves room for my cubbies. Now I did have to move one of the big cabinets that I originally had here, but I think I'll like that better, because having that tall cabinet right at the door would probably like close my room so much. Now, one of my coworkers did have her big cabinet here, and her room did not feel closed off, so I feel like this will be okay. A lot of people have actually, no one recently have put their cubbies right here, but I think that just makes the most sense. When the kids come in, they go right here, and they don't come out past the whiteboard, which I believe this is lined up correctly, but I didn't feel like it was that far away from the door when I was walking into the room. So I'll have to double check. They're not blocking view of anything, and it just makes sense. This allows room for me to put desks around my desk if need be, and then also have several groups. Now they could come more this way. Regardless, my carpet is going to take up a lot of space, but I can easily have even 4 groups of desks here, and the kids' chairs would not touch the carpet, because I've done that in my classroom in the past. Having my desk up in this corner just leaves this space open, and it also leaves these boards very visible. So I have a bulletin board here and a whiteboard here, and this is where I'm going to put all of my anchor charts. I'm just going to have them all lined up in the back. I'm just going to have a huge wall of reading, writing, math, and then science and social studies. I'm going to make 4 places to hang those anchor charts, or to display different things that we're learning. I think that is what I have decided. And then up front on my bulletin board right here, this little board, I think I'm going to do an accountable talk board, because I did that in 4th grade, and it's just so nice teaching the students how to communicate. If not, I can do something that can help in small group. I don't know. I could always change it out, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as I have this huge space for my anchor charts, I think I'll be good. My filing cabinets, I think I'm going to reduce down to just 1, because I only use the top 2 drawers in both anyway. The others kind of become dumping zones. So I think I'm going to limit this down to just 1 filing cabinet. That way I can get rid of this. And these are my 2 cabinets. I like how they're against the wall, because like I said before, it just leaves this space open. I didn't really want to put, I had this one here, but I don't want it to block. This is the window. There's a window here, and there's a window here. So with 1 less filing cabinet, that'll make for more light. I did try putting a filing cabinet here, which is fine. It just felt very sporadic. And as you can see, I have a random bookshelf here and a random bookshelf here. Now, I don't know if I'm going to keep those that way. I kind of just found a place for them. And then I think I'm going to put like my chair and my easel at this corner. That way I can teach from this direction, and then being back here on the carpet, my kids can always reference our anchor charts. I just feel like this design will provide the best space for me and my students. So this means I'll be moving a lot of furniture in my classroom because this is not the design I printed. But that's okay, because that's what I always do anyway. At least I have figured this out. I hope you guys aren't completely confused by everything I just explained. I also have 2 trapezoid tables. So instead of having a bookshelf here, the teacher last year who had this classroom had a trapezoid table in front of this whiteboard, which I could do. And then I can also put one back here. That just provides...
1 o'clock.
Thank you. That just provides different spaces for students to learn, a different place to sit, a small group table just for the students. So we'll see how it goes. I just realized that I have that spinning tower that I'm going to have my students put their writing notebooks in, and it would fit perfectly in this corner. It would be out of the way. So that's awesome. Something else I have to think about is a Chromebook cart, which I could put here or here. Like, these bookshelves and these filing cabinets are the least of my worries, honestly. I was thinking I have one other option, which is to keep my kidney-shaped table in the back. And again, that would open up the front of the classroom so I can have more students' seats in this area, which is kind of more important. But again, it doesn't close it off that much. Now, I may feel different because this may actually be pushed out more than I have it right now, but that is the other option. The only thing about this way is this little piece right here, there's like a bump in the wall and it comes out. So this wouldn't be able to sit flush against the wall. I mean, I can always put one here instead and move the filing cabinets, but I kind of like them against the wall. I don't know. I guess it all kind of depends on how my filing cabinets are going to go. And I honestly kind of like having this back corner just open and be a space where kids can spread out, rather than this kind of is like a line of things. So on to the next thing on my computer. I designed this document a while back, and I'm sorry if you can hear the lawnmower, but I labeled this Human Body 2019-2020, and this is just a Google Doc. And what I did is I put the main standard in green and then the supporting standards, which kind of break down the overarching standard, in blue. And I bolded the vocabulary words. Then I went ahead and broke it down into bones, muscles, and skin, because those are the 3 things I need to teach. And I should have probably made one of joints. However, in all of my documents provided by my county, it never mentions joints, even though we do teach them. So you'll see some of the words are highlighted because they are words that came across in these activities. And right now I'm just gathering a list of activities. So these top 3 are mystery science videos, and we've done the robot finger in the past. The X-ray handcraft is really, really, really cute and really cool. So that's something fun I want to try. And then I just think this video is interesting. These top 2 are shorter daily mysteries, I believe. And then I wrote a description of the activity with Play-Doh, where you try to build a person just with Play-Doh and realize it doesn't work. The Play-Doh represents the muscles, and then you can add some toothpicks to represent the bones. So I think this is a perfect introduction activity. Alright, so of course my camera decided to die while I was filming that last clip. So it's been a little bit because I do only have 1 battery, so I had to charge it. But I have been on a roll with this body skeletal muscular systems science unit. I've just been finding stuff and reading stuff, and it's just all making so much more sense to me. So that's been awesome. but it's 4:25, and since my body is like off, I don't know, I've just been eating at weird times today. I'm about to cook 2 eggs. This was supposed to be my breakfast, and then I would have eaten the taco salad now, but like the day's been a little switched around. So since eggs are 0 points, I'm going to go ahead and make them. Now I did put a little bit of oil in the pan so they don't stick to it, but honestly it's not enough to count as any points, and I mean if I did it'd be 1 point, so it's fine. I will show you the new way I enjoy making eggs. I know, weird. Why do I use foil instead of just like a normal lid? Honestly, I feel like it changes the texture of it and I like it. And I cover it because then it turns the yolk part of the egg into more of like a hard-boiled center, and I really like that. And then I squirt some sriracha on it and I'm a happy camper. I also had some potatoes from dinner the other night, so I just quickly heated those up in the microwave. They're like garlic butter potatoes, so like obviously not the healthiest, but it's okay. I need some starch in my life. So back to this. I've just kind of been browsing online, and I've been reading the Human Body book from the FOSS kit, looking at the resources that are listed on our pacing guide, and then just Googling different things. I also have listed on here resources that we've used in the past, and I'm starting to organize it in the order that it needs to happen. All of this is not in the order, but as you can see, I clearly have day 1 laid out. I really like the idea of starting with the Play-Doh or the lump of clay and having the kids make the body, and seeing that just doesn't work without the bones. So I kind of described the activity. I bolded the vocabulary words that this shows, and then down here I also bolded this statement about comparing the different functions of the 2 systems, because that is the main, well, not the main standard, but compare the different functions of the skeletal and muscular system. 3L11, like very simple. So right away they could start doing that. And I haven't decided if this can be something that's graded. It would be a great introduction to Venn diagrams at the beginning of the school year. Since it's the first day of the activity and it would be based on prior knowledge, I don't really think it's anything that I can grade for science, but this is a perfect introduction activity. It's going to be a perfect discussion starter and very simple and sweet and to the point. These 2 videos here are from Mystery Science. So again, it's the X-ray handcraft, which I think is super cute. The kids get to make their own X-ray of their hand, like just by drawing it and using oil, I think is what they put on the construction paper, and then you hang it in the window, you can see through it. So again, I'm listing in the parentheses the vocabulary words that the video brings up. And then I also included in the FOSS Human Body book that I just showed you, there's a story about a boy getting an X-ray. So I thought that connected perfectly, so I put those 2 together. And then the robot finger, which is a classic. We do it every year. This is a tricky one, but it covers a lot of information, and it is an awesome activity for the kids. Then there's this skull protection egg activity that I found, and this is just to basically prove how bones and the fluid inside of our body protects our organs and our muscles. So if you want to pause the video and read that, you can, but it's just a super simple eye-catching activity or demonstration that you can do with the kids. And then along the way, I'm kind of just like taking notes. Again, always going back to protecting, moving, and supporting the body, because that is protection, movement, and support. That is the main purpose of this science standard. So you always want to go back to those key things. The vertebrae activity is something that we have always done in 3rd grade. It's just with wagon wheel pasta and the gummy lifesavers and a pipe cleaner, and you string them together to create the vertebrae and cartilage. And I also put in add note card with diagram to bag because one of my coworkers did that last year where they had to label what each piece represented. And I'm like, oh, duh, that's genius, because I just sent them home with gummies and noodles stringed together in a bag. So I want to make sure to do that. And that's also something that could possibly be a grade, to make sure they're labeling the correct pieces, but again, it depends like where I put it in the order of everything. I have 2 Brain Pop Juniors, one on bones and one on muscles. I made sure to check the easy and hard quiz for both of these. I really liked them for the bones one, and the hard one actually wasn't even that hard. We usually like to take those for minor grades, so that's really helpful. And at this point, I feel like that would be something that is good to use. We do have the Grow a Bone activity, which is like a paper bone that you can like squeeze together and open up, and it shows the layers of the bone, and this video touches on it. So that's why I mentioned that here. And then in the muscles, it lists a ton of voluntary and involuntary muscles. I did not like the quizzes that went with this Brain Pop, because it was like, what part of your body is this muscle and what part is this? And like, that's just not what the standard is geared towards, and that's purely based on memory and prior knowledge. So that's not something that I want to quiz. We do have a muscle worksheet. Shout out to Rachel for sharing this with me. I really like this because again, it's using bold print. So this and diagrams, this is awesome for text features, and it gives the kids a little bit of writing that's not too taunting to read in science. And then they just simply list 5 voluntary and 5 involuntary. And this looks like it's from education.com if you want to look this up. This is a much better focus geared toward what we are actually teaching. And it does give examples in the text. So I can highlight one example for each you found in the text, but then go back to your notebook, because I did tell them to, or I'm going to tell them to make a list of the muscles as we are watching, because that's also a good skill to have, because I know you take notes in middle school and high school and things while watching a video. So starting with something simple like that, especially in 3rd grade, is a good way to start teaching that. And then I jotted down this because I want to remember to introduce voluntary muscles with the word volunteer. I love to connect vocabulary words to things they already know, especially with words that are found within that word. And this kind of got me thinking about this word and contract, where it's like a rubber band. They got me thinking of when you can draw vocabulary words, but make like a picture out of the letters to show the meaning of the word. And I feel like that would be a fun minor grade as we're going through this different vocabulary. And then finally, there is this short mystery from Mystery Science just about how the heart pumps blood. And I just feel like this is a very good visual for an involuntary muscle, since we are talking about those and the difference between that and voluntary. So there is an activity that's like a Valentine's Day card, but obviously we're teaching this near October is usually when we like to do the body because of Halloween. So that would not work out for us. Also, it's not really geared towards the standard. So that is what I found so far. I really am so excited. The only things that I've pulled from last year are the few things that I have remembered. I am going to go back to my old plans. I thought you might be tired of staring at a screen. I haven't gone back to my old plans yet, just because I wanted to gather as much new material as I can. This is really good stuff on bones and muscles, and then I'm just going to have to find a few things on skin and then kind of map it out and go from there. We do need 5 minor grades in my county for science, so I will have to work that in there. As you saw, I have already organized 2, possibly 3. So yeah, that's just how I'm working right now. I've really never done this before, where I just gather a bunch of different resources and then organize it, and I really like this. This is what I plan to do for both science and social studies this summer, just to have it done and ready to teach. I hope that wasn't too rambly, and I hope that was pretty interesting, but I'm gonna get back to work. Let me tell you, I am very proud of myself. Here's the vocabulary. I went ahead and unhighlighted all of it since I included all of the words. I listed the materials for every single activity that is not just like a piece of paper. And then I went through and added day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, 7. I went ahead and lessons that I know will take 2 days, I put that in. But then also if something was super short and I knew we could do it with it, I threw that in there too. Some of these, like this bicep model, is a activity that we would create together, but I feel like we need some kind of text to read or video to go with it. So I should actually probably, this is what we used to do in math, highlight in red the things we need to add things to. This vertebrae activity as well. I don't have a video or anything talking about the vertebrae. Now there is a smart notebook that goes with it, but it's the steps in how to create it. Those are the only 2 things that don't necessarily have something to go with it. Day 10 might be stretched out, or it might just be a day of labs. I'm not sure. I know that a teacher on my team last year gave us different skin labs that were really interesting and really super easy, but hands-on activities for the kids to understand the purpose of their skin. So I would like to do that so they can see it before they read about it, so they're kind of discovering it on their own. I always like to do that. And then I have the skeleton diagram at the end. I think other teachers really like to do this. I kind of put the x-ray in place of this. I don't know if there's extra time, or I mean, we've done it in the past, so they know to do it, but this is just like an overview of everything, and I do meet all the standards, understand human body systems and how they are essential for life, protection, movement, and support. We touch on that every single day. Comparing the different functions. Again, day 1, we're there, and then we can continue this topic as we go on. And then skin is necessary for protection and for the body to remain healthy. And we have 3 days, 3 days of skin at the end, hitting on those vocabulary words, what the skin does for us. So that feels amazing. All this planning of the human body is making me think I need to go exercise my human body. So I am going to head to the gym. At this point, it's 6:45. I've been working away all day. When I come back from the gym, I need to come up with a plan for tomorrow for tutoring. I'm starting with subtraction with regrouping. So I wish I had base 10 blocks. I may just print some out and cut them up so I have a manipulative to use, because I really want to go back to basics with her and do it right. And I'll probably just look up different things online and see what the best strategies are for students who are still having trouble. When they see like 1 minus 4, they say 3. Their brain automatically flips those numbers. They don't think. I know there's like the big number on top, no need to stop, more on the floor, go next door and get 10 more. I don't know. Even though like I taught that this year too, and like I would say it and my class would say it with me, I still had students who would not make that connection. So I need more than that, you know? I want her to see it, because she has a very good understanding. She knows when numbers are bigger, I think. So I'm excited, because I hope this gives me strategies to use later this year in my classroom. All right, gym time.